Guys, I got one. I got one of the developers behind Hollow Knight. Hopefully they'll be able to give me some answers as to why Hollow Knight Silksong hasn't come out yet. This is a cherry. Now, since the people that worked on Hollow Knight are called Team Cherry, I figured, hey, if I got one of them, maybe it'd have some answers as to why Hollow Knight Silksong hasn't come out yet. Now, to those of you who might say, Duder, this isn't a cherry, you're wrong. Stop trying to fool me. I don't have color blindness. I know that this is indeed a cherry. Now, you red bastard, why don't you tell us why Hollow Knight Silksong hasn't come out yet? Well, shit. Now, to those of you who might be saying, Duder, plants can't talk, which I imagine overlap with the people that say, Duder, that isn't a cherry. You're wrong. They absolutely can talk if they're upset enough. And also, while I'm torturing this cherry, I might as well play through Hollow Knight just to see if there's any little Easter eggs into when the Silksong is going to come out. And hey, torturing a fruit might actually give me some stress relief after dying 20 times to any given boss. Hollow Knight is one of the best games ever made. No, please don't click off the video. No, today, wait, hang on. I thought I would replay it just to get a video out on it, to share my thoughts before Silksong, doesn't fucking release, because it's not going to at this rate at all. And we're just never getting it, guys. Stop with the delusions. But honestly, I don't really feel like I have the skills necessary to try and pick apart this game without doing like a whole 3-hour long video, and I don't have the time for that. So here's this instead, I guess. Hopefully you'll be able to walk away from this video with a good idea on if you want to buy and play Hollow Knight, which you should, because it's a very good game, and I hope you're a rational human being. So hopefully you can enjoy this video while you watch me torture one of the poor motherfuckers that worked on this game. You gonna start talking? You gonna fucking start talking? Oh yeah, I would just start talking if I were you. I would start. Oh boy, give me your trade secrets. When I first played this game, I was but a wee 14-year-old lad. I had just gotten my Nintendo Switch, and I was still getting the Y and X buttons mixed up a lot. I had heard a lot of good things about Hollow Knight, and when I finally ran out of things to do in Breath of the Wild, I decided to buy it. I was captivated by the atmosphere, the world, the music, the bosses, this fucking stupid goddamn fucking shit. This game's too goddamn hard. Yeah, nobody told me this game was difficult. Like incredibly difficult. Like really, really, really difficult. Like incredibly, super duperly, incredibly difficult. Like, oh my god, it's very hard. I got to learn that the hard way, but there was always a few things that drew me back in. I think that thing was the simplistic combat that actually has a dizzying amount of depth. Now let me explain. The only means of consistently dealing damage in this game is your nail. Now, when you attack an enemy with your nail, you gain a little bit of soul. By holding down B when you have enough soul, you can regenerate health. This makes for a great dynamic. You can't just sit around and wait for your health to come back or pop some healing items mid-fight. You actually have to find an opening in which you can heal and hope that you have enough soul to get back a good amount of health before the thing you're fighting is able to hit you again. Now later on you can find spells that do damage, but spells also cost soul to cast, so you will always have to rely on your nail to do most of the heavy lifting. This gameplay loop is so simple yet so effective, so engaging, so exhilarating. When you fight a boss for the first time, you think, there's no way I can do this, but then you start learning. You can see the cracks in the boss's well-laid plans as you weave around its attacks. And then when you finally deal the killing blow, you feel like you just climbed a mountain. But when you're at the top of the mountain, you can see off in the distance an even bigger and even more challenging mountain. So you say, hey, why not? And trek to go climb the next one. And on your way to that mountain, you check through crossroads, mines, old cities, resting grounds, overgrown paths, hostile wastelands, and so much more.
Give me your secret! Give this to me! Tell me why Silksong hasn't come out yet! Tell me why!
Speaking of that, another thing that drew me back to Hollow Knight was the visuals, because god damn. There are 3 separate areas of this game that are overgrown in some kind of plant, and they are all incredibly distinct from each other, and that just extends to the rest of the game. Every single area in this game look incredible. Incredibly distinct from each other. You know where you are when you have fallen down a pit, and you can discern from just looking at it that you're in a different place from where you were before. Sometimes you fall down pits in the game and you're like, oh, I'm still in the same area as I was before. But sometimes you don't. And then when you don't do that, you know you didn't do that. Because you're like, oh no, I'm in deepness now. Time to panic. Up until now, I haven't mentioned that this game is a Metroidvania. Meaning you unlock different things throughout your playthrough that allow you to go to different places in the places that you've already explored. You would think backtracking in games wouldn't be fun, but when you're going through an area you've already been in and you have like some new movement mechanic or some dash or dive that you can do, you're constantly looking for secrets and like rooms you haven't been in or rooms you couldn't get to before, shortcuts to places you've already been to. It keeps the game very fresh. I think it's a very big compliment to a game when you've already been in an area and your head is on a swivel still looking for secrets. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom both did that for me, and I loved every single second of those games. Okay, maybe not every single second of those games. I'm referencing a Tears of the Kingdom video that I might do soon, so please subscribe and stay here for that. Please watch my videos. I'm begging you. Please. But none of this would be fun if the world wasn't as fleshed out as it was. And boy howdy, is this game ever fleshed out. Okay, I guess it's exoskeletoned out, but you get my idea. It's all bugs. Literally all of it. Like, everything in this game is a bug. Other than you, one other NPC, and, like, some enemies. But that's it. Like, all the other NPCs that you talk to are bugs. All of the lights are bugs. All the bosses are bugs. Like, half of the walls and platforms that you stand on are bugs. Everything is a bug. And that strengthens the art style even more, in my opinion. But none of it's ever really gross due to the hand-drawn, almost cartoonish art style. In my opinion, it's the perfect balance between getting across the exact message it wants to get across without scaring or grossing out the player. Or if it wants to scare or gross out the player, it does, but in the exact proportions that it wants to.
Tell me why Silksong hasn't come out yet, you son of a bitch! I swear to God, I will not stop doing this until you tell me!
As you progress through this dead kingdom, you eventually unlock something called the Dream Nail. This item lets you look into the minds of most enemies, NPCs, and corpses to see what their last thoughts were. This is a great method of storytelling because it helps put the pieces of what you have just discovered together. Provided, you know, there's some corpses around, but this is Hollow Nest, so there's not a shortage of corpses. It was a dying kingdom. There's dead bugs everywhere. Oh, and it also lets you see ghosts. And you can fight some of them. The Dream Warriors are a very unique kind of boss. They all float around the arena. Most of their attacks are projectiles, and they manifest them around the battlefield, meaning you have to keep track of where the attacks are coming from and where the boss is so you can actually deal damage to them. Well, all of them except for best boy, Marmu. He just wanted to learn how to fly, man. I really like all the dream fights, and I think Gorb is my favorite because, come on, it's Gorb. Speaking of characters, all the characters in this game are extremely well written. Hornet, Sly, the Dung Defender, my boy Quirrell, all of them have their own goals and aspirations, but ultimately end up helping you in their own way. And the writing only got better and better as I played through the game again and again as I got older and older. And as I got older and older, I realized how easy everything in this game actually is.
Okay, a little bit of a Hollow Knight hot take coming here. Oh, and speaking of hot, tell me your secrets, damn it! Sir!
Of course, like, aside from like the pantheon of hollowness, which is literally all of the game's bosses in a boss rush, and they're harder, which maybe I'll stream one day, but that is something I'm not gonna do right now. A lot of the boss fights just are not as hard as they look. For most of them, as long as you can try to stay on the ground and get some good heals in when you can, that's kind of 90% of the boss figured out. And I would say the other 10% is finding a good charm setup that you like that will help you fight that boss. Charms are little accessories that add special effects or help you do something a little bit better. None of them change up the game too much aside from the ones that alter health. Some of them make your nail longer, some of them make your spells better, some of them make you heal faster, and some of them make it so you know where you are on the map, and a whole lot more. I really like the charm system in this game, especially because you usually switch between having a specific set of charms when you're exploring and when you're fighting a boss. Some of them even let you talk to strange mushroom people, and that is a bad transition into the sound design of this game. And let me just say, if bugs spoke a fictional language, this would be the language they would speak. Everything sounds exactly how it should in this game. Never once have I questioned if this is really what bugs in a Thunderdome Coliseum would sound like, and I never will, because this is totally how they would sound like. And do I even need to mention the soundtrack? Yeah, I do, because it's guys, it's really good. The calming but dying melody of Dirtmouth. The curious and elegant harp of Greenpath. The intense beat of False Night. The valiant horns of the Dung Defender. The unnerving violins of Nosk. The Sealed Vessel is a song that builds up with you as you are releasing the final boss from his shackles. And Radiance is one of the most fitting songs to kill a god to.
Well, hopefully I didn't spoil too much about the game. It amazes me how this game has been able to stand the test of time. Most people that say they weren't able to get into Hollow Knight, I feel like just didn't give it a fair shot. And they should. And what also amazes me is that I just got back from the doctors, and turns out I have the rare, mysterious condition known as fruit blindness. It's like color blindness, but you can't tell the difference between fruits. And now the entire strawberry community is pissed off at me. So if you'll excuse me, I have to go issue an apology. Alright, look, I'm sorry, okay? Just give me a break, alright? I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.